So the Background NPC has released a video called "Will the Game Awards actually be good this year?" And okay, I mean, short answer, no. No, it won't. They never are. But I do admire her positivity. So welcome back to Words Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol. And yes, again, while I disagree with the general sentiment, now to be fair, maybe it's a bait and switch title. That is how you play the YouTube game. I don't think the Game Awards will be good, but I'm also open to having my mind changed, being surprised. And for those of you who don't know, I will be streaming the Game Awards tomorrow, so I will see you here. It's going to be a great time. But let's go ahead and get into this video. Before we do, hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel covering nerdy news every day. Let's get into it.
It's that time of year. Holidays, cozy vibes, end of the year wrap-ups, and the Game Awards. Now, last year at the Game Awards, Larian CEO Sven Vinke got up to present Game of the Year and did something a little bit unhinged. He said he already knew he was going to win. Not just that year, but 2025, 2026, 27, and beyond. And that the formula is stupidly simple, but somehow it keeps...
He right. He right, though. Like, let's be real. We all know who the winners are going to be. We always know who the winner's going to be. Unless, of course, we also know when there's a winner announced, when it's rigged. Like, okay, hey, this is very obviously bought and paid for. This is for marketability, and it's not actually for quality of the game. He is correct.
Keeps getting lost. Making games you actually want to play. Respecting your customers, respecting your devs. And I remember sitting there thinking, wow, it is kind of shocking that he is saying this out loud on this stage in front of all of these people, but will anyone in this room actually listen to him? Well, 2025 showed us that some did, and some really, really didn't. Now, me and the Game Awards personally,
Kojima Meat Riders didn't. Just throwing that out there. Kojima Meat Riders, they didn't listen.
We have had a complicated relationship, I'll say. I used to genuinely look forward to this show. I'd get off work, grab a snack, and because I am on the East Coast, I would stay up way too late watching. And I have so many fond memories attached to it, like seeing Overwatch win back in 2016. RIP. And losing my mind because I was so obsessed with that game and put in way too many hours that year grinding for the Halloween Witch Mercy skin. Or cheering.
Man, look, I don't have any, I won't lie. As much as we all know the Game Awards don't matter, the awards don't matter in general, and in fact, this is all just an industry circle jerk. It's kind of like watching reality TV. It's kind of like watching trash TV, you know, like Survivor, like American Idol, shit like that, and that we know it's not real. We know it doesn't matter. But there's always been entertainment quality to it. It's something that I do look forward to watching, even I know I'm going to hate it and I'm going to bitch about it. Like, it's just sort of this weird psychology, and I imagine a lot of gamers are like that. However, I will say, if we can go all the way back to, like, the 2010s, if you remember the Spike TV Game Awards, those were fun. Those were a blast. I legitimately had so much fun watching the Spike TV Game Awards. That could just be because I was younger, we were younger, we weren't jaded, the industry wasn't in the place that it's in now. There's a lot of factors that could go into it, but I, legitimately miss the actual Spike TV Game Awards.
For Breath of the Wild when it won the following year, or all of the Elden Ring hype that was building year after year. But over time, I started to lose some of the excitement. The show kept getting longer. There were more ads, more trailers for games that are 5 years out. Celebrities who clearly did not care about games in the slightest.
Bro, and she broke out Pedro and the talking potato, the burnt potato over here in one picture together, and then Not So Wondrous Woman. Holy shit. She calling, shots fucking fired. I love this gal.
Reading teleprompters, 45 seconds for best score, but here's 15 minutes of Vin Diesel. And then 2023 happened. Baldur's Gate 3 won, which was amazing, but Hogwarts Legacy, a game that I gave months of my life to, one of the biggest releases of that year, did not get a single nomination, not one mention. And that is when I realized, oh, okay, who is this show really for? So
that's when she realized it's rigged. It's all rigged. See, don't let anyone ever tell you people can't be woke up to this sort of stuff, right? Like, whether it be through us making videos or Asmongold, Hypnotic, whether it be through just any sort of information someone can gather, While yes, a lot of people are loons that can't be reasoned with, some can. You got people that come to these sorts of conclusions. So when you got, something as massive as Hogwarts Legacy, again, Harry Potter, one of the largest franchises in the world, especially for the millennial age group, and the video game that's beyond anticipated comes out. It's a great game after months and months and months of back and forth and boycotting and news covers that was all way overblown, that none of it should have mattered. And it didn't get a single nomination despite the community loving the game. That what this brought up? Again, don't let anyone tell you the mind can't be changed. That you're just screaming into the void.
I kind of checked out at that point. But this year, I am actually paying attention again. Now, I've seen a running joke on social media of people calling the awards this year the Expedition 33 Awards, and
exactly as it should be. Remember back at the Oscars in like 2004 or 5, whatever funny year it was, when Return of the King, clean sweep, Return of the King, like 13 Oscars? Bro, if you're telling me that this is going to be the Expedition 33 version of that at the Game Awards, Return of the King back then, fuck it, that's fine, it's earned, it's deserved, I'm all in, let's go, son.
I will say, it is really exciting that a debut game from a tiny French studio just got more nominations than any game in the show's history. 3 out of the 6 GOTY nominees are indie or small team games, and I keep thinking about what Sven said on that stage last year, and I think he might have actually called it. So that's kind of what I want to dig into. The games that flopped this year, the games that came out of nowhere and dominated, and what this year's nominees hopefully actually tell us about where gaming is headed. Okay, so before we get into all the nominees themselves, what has been going on in the industry as a whole? It has really been going through it the past few years. Tens of thousands of people have lost their jobs since 2022. Studios just gone, teams scattered, games losing millions of dollars. And every time it happens, it is more of the same type of press release strategy. Strategic realignment, shifting priorities. We kind of all know the deal at this point. And even after Sven's warning last year, somehow in 2025, some major studios still have not gotten the memo. Sorry.
And those ones that haven't gotten the memo, hope y'all are next. Hope y'all close down. Hope y'all gotta lay people off. Hope y'all's games flops. Don't give a fuck. If you ain't gonna cater to us, the customer, if you can continue this, industry circle jerk, then yeah, fuck them. We don't need you. We don't need you. Silksong released at $20, broke records. Who the fuck needs anything else?
To dog on Ubisoft again, but just recently, they decided that the best way to bounce back from all of the AC Shadows mess was an Attack on Titan crossover. And I do have to genuinely ask who greenlit this and who this is made for, because clearly it is not doing well, because they just said that that would be their final expansion for this game. Just let it die. Okay? And again, this is just weeks after the CEO came out and said that this game beat the haters and exceeded expectations. Black Ops.
Oh yeah, it beat the haters, all right. Beat the haters so much that Ubisoft is now, on the verge of being bought by Tencent. There's not getting any more expansions. By the way, the Assassin's Creed, crossover with Attack on Titan. The reward was the ability to buy skins within the game. So, you certainly beat those haters.
7 hit the lowest user score Metacritic has ever seen. The campaign featured this giant man with machetes falling down from the sky, and don't worry, if that is not your thing, there's also a cat cafe now. Avowed it could not crack 20,000 concurrent players on Steam. Borderlands 4 launched to a basically collective shrug and optimization problems, which led to Randy Pitchford crashing out, telling people to build their own engines. The Outer Worlds 2, Mind's Eye, Little Nightmares 3, all flopped. And listen, Little Nightmares 3 hurts me very deeply, by the way, because I love that franchise. But we've seen numerous cancellations, studio shutdowns, and at some point, you have to step back and ask, what exactly is being prioritized here? Because whatever it is, like I talked about a couple of videos ago, it is definitely not, will players actually enjoy this? But while all of that was happening, something else was going on. 2 people in Sweden released a top.
That's right, bring up Repo, baby. This is one of the most fun games of 2025. Like, some of the most fun I've had this whole year gaming, period, have been with this game right here.
top-selling game on Steam this year with Repo. Peak, a game jam project made in a month,
also
sold
great. I've gotten to do some shenanigans, some straight chicanery with this game.
10 million copies. We saw several million players show up for Stellar Blade's release on PC. Where Winds Meet has hit over 9 million players and it is completely free. Arc Raiders became a big sleeper hit. Silksong dropped at a price that made AAA big mad. And Kingdom Come 2.
No. Not only made AAA big mad, more importantly, it made other indie developers big mad, and you love that because I get it. Support indies. You know me, I'm a big proponent for supporting indies. I am a huge proponent for supporting indies. I think that's where the game industry is headed. That being said, doing shit like that, that's what breeds competition in the marketplace. That's what breeds competition in the market. That's when people let the free hand of the market decide. That is how you expertly do it. And it puts motherfuckers in the place that are gonna overcharge $30, $40, $50 for their shitty handmade game. Like, let's be real, most indie developers don't get the success of things like Schedule 1 and Repo and Peak and RV There Yet and Silksong. But for those that do, that competition in the indie dev market, ooh, that's how the world works, baby.
Made its money back day one. Hades 2 reminded everyone why Supergiant doesn't miss. Even at Battlefield 6, seems like for the most part, they did listen to players and ended up outperforming COD. And then of course, there's Clear Obscure. So yeah, when I look at everything that happened this year, who flopped, who showed up, what actually connected with players, Sven's whole speech starts to feel less like idealism and way more like a checklist. Make something you'd actually want to play. Respect the people making it, stop cramming in trends and ideologies that have nothing to do with making the game better. If it is not there to improve the experience, why is it in there? And most importantly, respect the people buying and playing your games. So looking at this year's nominees, I think that they very clearly tell you exactly which is which. But before we get into that, I am excited to say that this video is partnered with Raycon. If you couldn't tell.
All right, y'all know the drill. We do let sponsor reads play out because if we steal motherfuckers' content, we at least let them read their sponsorships.
I am very excited that the holidays are here and they have unlocked my festive side quest, taking evening walks to look at Christmas lights. I love bringing my Raycons with me when I do this because not only are they super cute, they have this awareness mode so I can listen to music while still hearing what is going on around me. When I am back home and I want to fully zone out, the noise cancellation truly is chef's kiss. It blocks out background noise so I can focus on my music or a podcast without having distractions. It's kind of like having two modes, one mode for wandering the map and one for going AFK. Plus, they come in purple. Yay for me. They do actually stay in my ears, which historically has not been that easy for me. And 32 hours of battery life, so they will last me many a walk. Raycon is doing up to 20% off for the holidays. The link's in the description below. Buyraycon.com/backgroundnpc, and if you order by December 15th, it will get there by Christmas. Thanks again to Raycon for partnering with me on this video. Clear Obscure, Silksong, Hades 2, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Death Stranding 2, and Donkey Kong Bonanza. 3 out of these 6 are indie or small team games, and the most nominated game in the show's history is a debut title. Looking at
3 out of them, I thought it was 4. I thought 4 of these were small team. Maybe I'm wrong, because I could swear that Hades 2, Hollow Knight, Kingdom Come, and Clash Mission 33. Did Kingdom Come have a bigger development team than I realized?
this compared to lineups from a few years ago, it feels very different. But before we talk about who is in, let us talk about who isn't. Ghost of Yote got 7 nominations across other categories, but no goatee.
Good.
No, that's petty. I'm sorry. I will be honest with you though, I am kind of glad about this. If you watched my other videos, you do know that I have some thoughts about this game. Despite all of the controversy, even at its core, it is just another angry woman on a revenge quest, which Sony has already done. And yes, the art direction is beautiful, so I could see it winning that category, but it is basically just a copy-paste of Tsushima. Either way, I was
How y'all not love this broad? She is so fucking based.
pleasantly surprised that it did not receive a GOTY nomination. Same energy with Assassin's Creed Shadows. It got some nominations, but it is nowhere near the GOTY conversation. And after everything that went down with that launch, I do.
Now, to be fair, like, if I was gonna be intellectually honest with all y'all, there really isn't an Assassin's Creed since like maybe the 3rd one. I know some people say Black Flag, maybe Black Flag. I don't know. I ain't played that fucking shit, right? I stopped after Assassin's Creed 3. But anyway, ever since Assassin's Creed went like yearly release, there's no reason it should ever have been in the conversation for Game of the Year anyway. No Assassin's Creed, not just Shadows, but really any Assassin's Creed is just conveyor belt assembly line gaming. There's no heart, soul, passion. It's literally just content. So yeah, that sort of thing should never even be in the running for Game of the Year. That's not even just a Shadows issue.
I do think that that is saying something. Players pushed back and the awards actually reflect it. A few years ago, these probably would have been shoo-ins just because of the studio names attached. The fact that they're not, though, I don't know. It kind of feels like we are really continuing to see the shift, even at the Game Awards level. And now for the actual nominees, Clear Obscure. I have already talked about this one over the past year, so I'll keep it brief, but 12 nominations, first game ever from the studio. It is pretty much proof that you do not need a massive budget or a well-known IP to make something that resonates deeply with players. You just need to actually care, and they clearly cared. Silksong, the game that people genuinely thought might never come out. Years of copium, the memes, and then it drops, and it is so good that other studios delayed their games to get out of its way. Also, Team Cherry apparently said that they expect Clear Obscure to win, which is very Humble King energy. But also, please do not count yourselves out. Hades 2, the art, the music, the writing, the voice acting. This is truly a standalone game, but very fitting as the next entry in the series and something that I do need to get back to and play. Looking at all three of these in particular, I mean, this is kind of exactly what Sven was talking about, right? Small teams, passion projects, games that shipped, finished, and trusted players to show up, and they did. Even Kingdom Come 2, the first game, was such a very unique and specific vision. Czech developers telling their own history with this obsessive level of detail, and their
Alright, so I guess I was wrong about them having a small team. This certainly ain't a small team. It's also not like a massive team or anything like that. Like, compare this to the fact that Assassin's Creed Shadows trailers took over 2 hours, like length of a Marvel movie. When you got Ubisoft out there with literally thousands of employees. Now, not all those employees are devs, but the point is, yeah, okay, so this isn't a small team, but this certainly isn't like a massive team a la what Ubisoft and folk like that are putting out. So, okay, fair enough.
Is obviously an audience for games that commit to that type of RPG. Death Stranding 2. Okay, I have never really been a Kojima girly, I will be honest.
Give me your Kojima hate. Yes, I mean, she's gonna say it nice because she the background NPC. She's a nice person. She don't really stir the pot, but your boy does. Fuck Kojima. The trite, arrogant, pretentious fucking thinks he's the Quentin Tarantino of the game industry. Fuck Kojima. I love it when people... I feel like we're hearing more and more people nowadays come out and admit they don't like Kojima that much. I get y'all loved Metal Gear back in the day, right? Y'all love Metal Gear back in the day, and you've been coasting on that nostalgia ever since, convincing yourself he's the GOAT. Nah, son. And I love that more people are saying it.
Honest with you, everything I know about the Strand type games have been learned mostly against my will, but I have grown to become way more interested in this series over the years, and my queen, Elle Fanning, is in it, which definitely does not hurt. So maybe this is the one that finally converts me when it comes to PC. We shall see. And then, of course, there's Donkey Kong. And as someone who did used to be...
This is a bullshit nominee. This is absolutely a bullshit nominee. And here's why. Because you know your boy's a Nintendo fan. I ain't made any qualms with the fact that I am absolutely a huge Nintendo fan. I also am one of those many that are jaded on what Nintendo's done as of late, the Switch 2, the pricing, the games, things to that effect. Look, I'm not saying this is a bad game, because I haven't played it. I don't know. What I am saying is that Nintendo almost always gets at least one game thrown in there, basically as a courtesy, because they're fucking Nintendo. Really, none of this shit would even be possible if it weren't for a little Italian plumber on the NES back in like 1984. So, like, this is I don't want to call it a pity nomination, because obviously they don't pity Nintendo, but this is more like it's honorary. Nobody knows that it's gonna fucking win. It's for show.
A massive Nintendo fan. I won't sit here and say that they don't know how to make a banger first party game. Of course they do. And I will not let my personal beef with them detract from that. But on this note, I just saw that Metroid Prime 4 came out after years and years of development, and between watching some pretty cringeworthy cutscenes on social media, I also learned that there is somehow a desert with zero music. You are just riding around on your bike in silence, unless you purchase a physical amiibo. Then you can listen to music. Nintendo made background music a microtransaction in
No. When it's a $30 paywall for music, girly, that is a macro transaction.
2025, which, come on, that is just the most Nintendo thing that they could have done at this point. Anyway, if you did play Donkey Kong, please let me know what you think and if it deserves the spot, because genuinely, I do not know. It just feels like Nintendo always has something in the GOTY lineup, like it is some kind of unwritten rule for them. But this year, with everything that we have been talking about, here is the big question. Did the industry at large learn anything? And if they did, will we continue to see this shift into 2026?
The answer is no. The answer is no. The industry at large didn't learn anything. Now, I will say that there are individuals and there are people that want to make money, and there are people that understand the shift in the industry, and they are, making the shift. They are understanding what players want, understanding what players gravitate toward. They are seeing what's selling and what isn't. They are seeing the discourse on and off the internet. However, that is, I do not think, the majority. Now, the ones that are, in it to win it, the ones that have learned from this, they're going to keep trucking along, and they're going to be just fine. But these people, by and large, probably weren't worried about the state of the industry or anything to begin with, because they were already putting out bangers, right? Or if they were working on stuff, they were putting quality over quantity. So the folk that have quote unquote learned, if there's any, the question is it too little, too late? Because, like, for example, if Ubisoft switched up tomorrow, right? If they switched on a dime tomorrow, went back to small dev teams, stories that matter, characters we can get behind, dropping all identity politics, putting the player first, no more anti-consumer practices, not paywalling a bunch of stuff, the list goes on and on. If they were to do all of that tomorrow, would they be successful? I can't in good conscience say yes, because they've got years and years and years of trust and goodwill burnt by the player. Getting that back, even if you do everything right, is not easy, and it's certainly not a quick process.
And beyond. Honestly, I think the answer is sort of. The layoffs have not stopped. There will probably be more studio closure announcements in the near future. I'm sure some executive somewhere is definitely looking at Clear Obscure's success from this past year, trying to figure out how to replicate it without actually doing any of the hard parts. Here is what I do keep coming back to. This year, the games that showed up, that actually connected with players, that performed well, they were not always the ones with the biggest budgets or the flashiest marketing. They were the ones that felt like someone genuinely wanted to make them, and players noticed. Now that has to mean something, I think, because 2 years ago, Sven stood up on that stage and basically said, here's the formula, it is not that complicated, please just do this. And this year's nominees feel like the first real answer to who actually was listening. We have 3 indie or small team games in the Game of the Year lineup, including the most nominated game in history, which is a debut title from a 30-person studio.
Man, I don't know what it is about Geoff Keighley, bro. I don't know what it is about Geoff Keighley. But when I look at him, every time I look at him, it's like if Eric from that 70s show grew up to be Ted Bundy. I don't know what it is. He just grew up to be a serial killer, right? If Eric from 70s show, stuffed Donna in the freezer in the basement, and then started systematically eliminating all of Kelsa's ex-lovers, there's something weird about him, right? There's something creepy. I like the dude. I think he's fun. I think he's funny. I shouldn't say I like him. I don't like him. In fact, I think he's kind of a scourge on the industry. But he's very good at being that dude that you kind of love to hate. But yeah, bro, I get Foreman the serial killer.
In France. So, who do I want to win this year? Clear Obscure. And I know, that is not original or unique by any means, but it is not just because I loved that game, it is because of what it would mean. Some big AAA company somewhere watching a tiny French studio take home Game of the Year, having to explain to a boardroom why the passion project beat the franchise sequel. That hopefully sends a very strong message. Silksong winning would be great. I think even Hades 2 would be pretty great. Any of those 3 I would be okay with. Unless Donkey Kong wins, then I will have some questions for Nintendo and for whoever voted for it.
Honestly, if any of them's gonna win, like between Donkey Kong and Death Stranding, it's gonna be Death Stranding, not Donkey Kong, because we know that Keighley loves smoking the Kojima skin flute.
But as for what we're taking into 2026, I am pretty excited. We have got Resident Evil 9 and Neo 3.
You were doing so good. Girly, you were doing so good. We're 13 minutes into your 15-minute video, and you fucked it up by acknowledging that you don't understand a good goddamn thing about Resident Evil, because why would you possibly be excited for what will likely be the worst entry in the franchise, sans maybe Resident Evil 6? Oh, honey, you have got so much to learn. If you need help with your Resident Evil lore, and why you're wrong to be excited for this, hit me up, DM's open.
Coming up, Crimson Desert, which is a gorgeous open world and has been in development for forever. Slay the Spire 2 for everyone who did lose hundreds of hours to the first one. And of course, GTA 6 if it ever releases. But the one I really keep thinking about and I'm really excited for is Tides of Annihilation. It is from a Chinese studio called Eclipse Glow and is their very first game. Kind of Devil May Cry and maybe a little bit Final Fantasy inspired combat. It's got Arthurian legend setting and a beautiful female character voiced by none other than Jennifer English. Another debut title from an Eastern dev getting massive attention before it's even out. Does that sound familiar? I don't know if 2026 will keep this momentum going. Maybe it will, I hope. Maybe some of these will disappoint and we will be right back to complaining about the state of things. But right now, there are a lot of games on the horizon that feel like people actually wanted to make them, like the good old days, and that is more than we could say some of these past few years. Like I've said in previous videos, players have so many options now, some really good ones, and honestly good for us for not being afraid to walk away from stuff that does not respect our time and money. And that is the leverage that we did not always used to have, which brings me back to where I started with this. Me and the Game Awards. Checking out after a few years of feeling like it wasn't really for me anymore, but this year, I am excited and I will be watching. Grabbing the food, getting cozy, staying up too late, the whole entire thing. Because for the first time in a while, more of the right games and the right developers are succeeding in a big way. And I am very excited to celebrate them and celebrate what their successes hopefully mean for the industry moving forward. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. Will you be watching the show? Let me know in the comments below. And also let me know who your Game of the Year pick is. Thanks again for being here and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, that was a pretty good video. I won't lie. That was a pretty good video. I like the way she handled the situation. I think the reason the background NPC has done so well for herself is not just because Asmongold found her really early and blew her up. Like, that would be super disingenuous to say. She puts out very, very good content. I think that she is a little naive, but I don't know how much of that naivete is because she doesn't understand the industry or the world space, because she hasn't been doing this as long, or because it's like not even really a naivete, just maybe a cautious optimism that she really puts out there as, you know, because so many people are negative and whatnot, she wants to show off that level of positivity, while also finding a way to, in a bubbly, friendly package, acknowledge the negative. It's good shit. Now, that being said, I think while a lot of the points she made were correct in this video, I also don't think that we're going to be seeing any major shifts immediately. I think we can already tell things are slowly getting better. I don't know that a big corporate circle jerk like the Game Awards is where we're actually going to see anything like that on full display. I'm really only watching the Game Awards for a couple reasons. One, I want to see Expedition 33 win Game of the Year. Two, I want to see Sonic Crossroads Racing take home some shit. But three, more importantly, I want to see what everything they do in between the awards are. Because the awards are dog shit, right? The awards don't really mean anything. We all know this. The awards don't mean anything. However, I am quite curious about what's on the horizon, what sort of trailers or interviews and whatnot. I love that extra sort of little stuff. It's not just like, oh, come out, award, game, this. Like, that's fine. That's fun to commentate on. But usually they do some pretty interesting stuff that, like, go down as moments, that could go down as moments in gaming history. I mean, we all remember 299, right? Like, every now and again, you might get a moment like that. But, yeah, so I'm going to be streaming the Game Awards tomorrow. Make sure you're here for it. It's going to be a blast. Me and the whole SNH crew are going to be together. And I cannot wait to see Hypno lose that bet to smash JT, and that he's going to have to cough up a hundo when Expedition 33 wins. But these are just my opinions. Let me know yours in the comments down below. Let me know on X where you can find me at Bolt the Word. And please do subscribe. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about the gaming industry, but video games, anime, music, Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check us out on Instagram at wordsparadise_Leon and become a member for $4.99 a month. You can join the Discord. Choose the articles you go over on a day-to-day basis. Choose the videos to react to on the daily streams. And of course, get involved with over 250 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to get even further because we do care about diversity. One kind of diversity of thought. That's interesting to you. Join the Discord, hit subscribe. And until next time, it's all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.